Hello everyone, it is your boy back at it again with another video, and this time we're going to be talking about furries. You know, the people that like to dress up as dogs and cats and all that good stuff. Yeah, we're going to be talking about them and how they're have lost their complete mind. So let's jump right into the video. So what exactly is a furry? So a furry is a term. Furry describes a diverse community of fans, artists, writers, gamers, and role players. Most furries create for themselves an anthropomorphized animal character with whom they identify and can function as an avatar within the community. Some furries wear elaborate costumes called fursuits or as such as animal ears or tails, or represent themselves as an anthropomorphic animals in online communities, such as Second Life. Anthropomorphization, derived from the verb from anthropoize itself, derived from the Greek anthropos, human, and morph, form. It is first attested in 1753, originally in reference to the heresy of applying a human form to the Christian God. So that's the original word right there. So when seeking counseling or therapy for unrelated conditions, many furries report that they were driven away by therapists who ignored the problem they were experiencing, like depression, and instead focused on being furry as the problem. Our studies show that other fan groups dislike furries, so furries' fears are founded. So in this website, right, that I'm looking up, it's called Fur Science. They manipulate the numbers, and they don't show the whole picture in this website. So that's why I'm here to show you the whole picture. So, yeah. First things first, we had to get the numbers out of the way. And we got to go to studies. So the first study shows a 2016 study out of over 1,300 furries, about 71% of them identified as LGBTQ. In 2020, almost 6,000, nearly 83% identified as LGBTQ. So this group offers up a space for LGBTQ peoples to experiment with gender, self-expression, supportive environment, offering refuge, and all this stuff. So this group has a safe space for the LGBTQ and is very accepting and all that stuff. But there is a major problem underneath, behind closed doors and all that stuff. So here I have a chart, and this chart shows the mental illness and the rates of how people take their own life or attempting to take their own life and all that stuff from the Canadian government and the USA. So here we have around 27% experience major depression, 25% thinking about taking their own life. And the US, we have 30 to 40%, and taking their own life is around 40%. So this group says they offer up a safe space, but then again, depression, anxiety, and taking thoughts of taking your own life are present in this group. So is it really a safe space? So this idea in this community is a safe space, but really it is not a safe space because of the thoughts and how you're not dealing with the depression and all this stuff. And it offers up a space for acceptance, but in reality, your depression and anxiety gets worse, and here are the numbers to prove it. So it's hard to detect how many furries there are in the world. Some in the 2017 survey in the United States, there were around 1.8 million in the United States and 5 million globally. So we have this interesting group of people going into areas with like depression, anxiety, and being manipulated into thinking that this is a safe space for you to express yourself, being artsy and all that stuff. But really, your depression doesn't get cured, your anxiety doesn't go away, and it's a spiral. It spirals out of control until you until you think about taking your own life and all this stuff. Like, and the numbers prove it. Here's the numbers right here. So from the Canadian government, we can see here, among those who met the criteria for mental health or substance use disorder, 66% of the LGBTQ youth and 38% of cisgender heterosexual youth reported that they have talked to a youth health professional about their mental health or substance use in the year prior to the survey. So if they're going to therapy and nothing's being done to these people, like, what's going on in the therapy? Because if you go to therapy and it's not working, like, something's up. So this is where we get into the meat and potatoes of the furry fandom. Roughly 96% of men and 80% of women involved with the fandom reported viewing furry adult content. According to a 2013 survey and a 2019 survey of 334 male furries, 99% said they were their motivation was at least partially sexual. The UK-based Safer Schools ecosystem warns that children predators could mask their identity as a furry to prey on kids. Middle schoolers who act like cats may just be goofing off, but parents should be aware of the deeper hazards. So that's why I'm here to let you know of the deeper hazards. Because if a predator is dressed up as a furry to be around kids, this is very dangerous stuff. And we get from the survey that at least 99% of this fandom is at least partially or at least a little bit sexual. And that's what that motivates them, is sexual immorality. And then they go around kids. So just keep that in mind. Well, no, not really. If your daughter is dressing up as a cat, you got to ask why. Is it because of, like, to be sexy? Like, what's going on here? So you might be wondering, well, it might be not easy to find. It's adult content. It's super easy to find. And in fact, up to 52% of Americans aged 13 and older view adult content at least once a month, but nearly half never look for it. So daily 6%, 14, like, here's the numbers right here. It's just insane. Completely insane. And then we get the motivation for the furries of why they show up to the parades, the LGBTQ meetups and all this stuff. It is 99% motivated by sex. And it's just terrible. And then they go around children saying a thing, and it's always it's innocent and all that. It's not innocent. It's not innocent. Not at all. It's what's important is that you find out the motivation behind people's actions. If they're motivated by sexual immorality, we have to find that out, because then they can't be around kids. They can't be around your children, right? Because if their motivations are sexual immorality, who's stopping them from being preying on children? And they go into the schools, they go into the parades and all this stuff, and everyone thinks it's fine. But then they go to therapy, nothing helps, and they want to be affirmed and appreciated and all this stuff. Affirmation is dangerous, and we can see why. If you're accepted in a group and that group is spiraling out of control, that group is unstable. It's unstable, completely, like, mind-boggling, and then they influence children. The most vulnerable people in the world are children, and we have furries around them. So we got to be mindful of what motivates these people. Okay? It's not all about art. It's not all about cosplay. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's about sex. Okay? And here are the numbers that prove it. Numbers don't lie. Okay, I showed you the numbers. Now do what you will with them, but here are the numbers. To sum up this video, I think if you're going to therapy and you don't know who you are, look yourself in the mirror and say, I am fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God, no matter what. Okay? Like you don't. If you look in yourself in the mirror and hate who you are, you gotta look at the good. Oh, I got a nice beard. Oh, I got nice hair. Or like I got beautiful eyes. Like say positive things about yourself. Say this is how God made me. God said I was fearfully and wonderfully made. Here I am. I am perfect. I am a miracle. Like the odds of you being born is like 1 out of 7 trillion or something like that. I forget the number, but you being born is an absolute miracle. You walk in this earth is miraculous. Like it's insane. You have your feet. You have your house. You have food under on your table. You have water. Like, and you look at yourself and say, "I'm not good enough." That's just completely wrong. Look at yourself and love who you are. Look at yourself and look how God made you and pray. Prayer is a powerful thing. Like, and you're all by yourself. Who's going to know that you prayed? God's going to know that you came to Him and say, "God, I don't know. I don't like who I am. Can you help me?" No one's going to know. No one's going to know. This is between you and God. Like I'm not going to know. I'm busy. I'm over here. Right? Take your problems up with the Lord. If you say, God, I don't like how I'm made, He will show up and He will show you. He'll fill you with peace. Like that's what the Holy Spirit does. Like that's what they do, right? If I could help one person to say, pick up your cross and follow Jesus and trust Him with this issue of being accepted, pray about it. That's the only thing I can say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new. Peace out, players.